Hey, so how you been since your last reading? Like, what have you been up to? Can I offer you water? Anything? Oh yeah, you want some here? Here you go. So I mean, how was your healing process? Oh, so wait. So you cut him off, or like what's going on? Spill. It's a safe space. You can talk to me. I don't judge. I've had my messy breakups in the past. I mean, hey, I'm not judging. Actually, I'm proud of you. Like, you actually legit cut him out. Cold turkey, nothing. Like, oh no, because I thought I saw, something like, y'all were back together, and then you did what? Like, what happened? No, that's horrible. So he like went on a public displays of affection, like, really? So he posted up on social media how much of an idiot he was. What an idiot. So, okay, like, you know me, like, when I read tarot, I always, shuffle at least twice, 3 times max. I'm going to ask you to, without projecting or basically having your hand over my deck, and do not vocalize to me, vocalize to the cards via your thought, and I will let spirit talk to you, through the cards. And this basically gives you a pure connection to spirit. And it's untainted, so I'm just going to put my deck right here, unless you want me to put it on the counter in front of you. No, you good? Okay. Spirit, what do you got for me? This is saying, like, don't be afraid to walk away. I know it's kind of very disappointing. It's also saying, like, if you love yourself more, walking away will be the best thing that you've done in a really long time. And I apologize for the furnace and the central AC coming through with the force there. So if it gets really loud, I'm sorry. Okay, let's run with this. What do you got? I'm seeing, like, right now you're really in decision-making mode. There's some things that are coming through. You're seeing things at a bigger perspective, but I'm also seeing that for whatever the reason may be, you're kind of having thoughts of just I'm being told you're having thoughts, like second thoughts or third thoughts. You're in doubt, and you really want to see the bigger picture in this person, and this is just saying, like, you gotta throw the whole person away. I'm sorry, I know that you've invested so much time into this, but that's what I'm hearing is, like, you need to learn to walk away and pick your battles. And you can't just keep giving people the benefit of the doubt, because it actually is going to leave you hurt and bruised and scarred. And you do it for nothing, And that's what that's saying is, when you're thinking about these things, and you're thinking about this person, this man, this partner, there's just things, and I'm also seeing some, like, manipulative that would not hesitate to leave. And so even though he wants to step up and do the right thing, like, it's the reason he's doing it is because he's afraid he's going to lose you. And I do want to tell you that it's like extending an olive branch with a poison, arrow or poison dart. And that's what I'm seeing is, like, a poison dart that they're extending to you, because they're just like, they want to own you. They want to control you in the worst way possible. And yet they don't. The only reason that they're stepping up now is because they know if they lose you, they lose control. And so they're losing their footing with you, and you know this because doors are closing on them. They're on that, and you are on a completely different path. I'm seeing like there's something greater at stake, and I'm being called to tell you that there's just circumstances that are above your pay grade or of your control. So it's like, stop trying to lift burdens that are dead weight, because this person is never going to change. They're too set firm in their own self, and they're only thinking about themselves. They're only thinking about the bare minimum, and you give so much to them that all they do is just take, and yet they give you very little in return. They only give you the meager scraps because they know that you'll come chomping at the bit when they call. And this is saying it's you just got to put distance in there. You know, it's a slow, arduous process, but it's like, you can't let this person keep you up for the rest of your life, you know, wanting bare minimum, because it's not fair to you. It's not fair to anybody. And I'm hearing that there's just things that circumstances are ready to take you away. Circumstances are ready. So this is saying, stop trapping yourself, and, you know, because you need to grow and you need to expand, because this person, and I'm not saying it's the card, but I'm saying that there's more to meet the eye about this person. And I'm also hearing that there's already an establishment that they're already doing the bare minimum with you, and you need to transform, you need to set up, and you need to walk away, because resisting this is futile, because it's only going to hurt worse if you just keep doing. But I'm also hearing that some of you have been checking social media because you know that freaking there's something that's coming out. And I'm also hearing like playing the part with someone else. So what you wanted from this person, they're giving it to someone else. So I'm just like letting you know. So this is saying you need to walk away, and you need to balance yourself, because there's so much greater. I'm not joking. Like with this walking away to establish something more, I'm hearing dreams will come true. You're not manifesting because this person is blocking you. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I'm hearing intuition. And I actually wanted to ask you, because this came up. So when I was holding up the 10 of Cups and this completion, this cycle that's walking away and what's finding you, you know, that's coming through or whatever, I wanted to ask, weirdly enough, and I don't mean to pry because this came up and I heard this very faint voice, this feminine voice. Are you like thinking, or you recently got acquainted with a female, a feminine female? No, because the reason I'm asking is that with the Queen of Wands and then the Empress popping up, because I'm seeing different sides, but I'm also hearing there's things that you wanted to try, and I'm hearing flavors that you wanted to try. And, you know, if you get my tongue-in-cheek, like, language, sorry. The tongue-in-cheek language, I'm hearing that there's a new flavor that you wanted to try, that your curiosities run the best of you. So I'm like, has this flavor, you know, come into your life yet? So you're really like, you're gonna do it. Okay, I support. So I'm hearing new flavor. I'm hearing new flavors, but this is saying explore your options. This is saying don't ever stop exploring surroundings. This is saying you need to get out more. Given the circumstances with the whole COVID virus and everything, like, be safe. So yeah, you're being really called to leave the situation that you're in environmentally, but I'm also hearing, you know, make a commitment to your health, make a commitment to your healing, make a commitment to yourself to do better, to expand more. So this is saying trust and believe that there are options out there, but trust and believe yourself. And this is saying give yourself self-love. And the bottom of the deck is go forward fearlessly. And I I just keep thinking, yeah, because we were talking last time, you know, and I just wanted to say something. And so that came up about, you know, the tongue-in-cheek and whatnot, and I just wanted to ask what was going on. So, you know, and you know me, like at my point, like in my teenagers, I really did. I was very exploratory when it came to what I was doing, who I liked, whatever. And I mean, there were a couple girls that I fancied. There was a couple girls that I dated, you know, kind of fooled around a bit. But, you know, it wasn't to the point where it's like I could call myself bi, you know, because it's like more hetero than I am bi. But I do find myself, there are times where like a really pretty female will come out and be like, oh my God, like you're really pretty. Like I fancy you, you know what I mean? But it's just like, I can't bring myself to like go tongue-in-cheek, you know what I mean? But I mean, yeah, it was fun, you know what I mean? It was very informative. I mean, if the day ever happened, I mean, you know me, I have a boyfriend, so, and been together for 7 years. But it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, we don't fight like that. And I don't want to put like my problems on you or you put your problems on me, but I mean, I can say there's a lot of trust, you know what I mean? There's a lot of communication that happens, but it's also rediscovering each other, even 7 years later, you know, because you move on, if that makes any sense. It's not saying you move on from your person, but you change and you adapt from the person that you were when you started dating to like the first couple years. And, you know, even now, like 7 years later, and I like look at him and he's not the person that I started dating, you know what I mean, at, what was it, 18, 19 years old. And so it's crazy, you know what I mean? He's like 28, I'm 26. And all I kept thinking was like, here we are 7 years later, and boom. You know what I mean? I'm more in love with him every single day. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about. So this establishment, this person that she's asking about, is this an establishment elsewhere that time was given? Because I'm seeing three's a cloud, or, you know, this triangle, so to speak. What is going on there? So yeah, there's just things that he perpetrated on you and he perpetrated on another party. So I'm really hearing it's only a matter of time before things get illuminated. So you can only trust and believe that things were happening behind the scenes in a shady kind of individual. And I want to say this, you know, your person you were dating was kind of seedy, did some untasteful situations from what you've told me. So it's just like his world is turning upside down, because I'm hearing there could be a possibility where the female is ready to leave. She's just done with the back and forth, and so either way he's losing both parties. So I just want to tell you, like, there's just things that are gonna get taken out of proportion, or things that are not necessarily the most. I'm saying that he's leaving one environment, a loving environment, for someone who is toxic, to basically teach him how to eat his words and eat his actions. So this is his karmic relation that he's going through. So this is actually going to, I'm hearing, break him. And this is saying there's no looking back for you, because this person is done and over with. I mean, you can have all this love in your heart, but it was conditional. So he's experiencing this tower moment, this blockage. And so he's like, damn, you know, like I really had this establishment with this one person, and you're over here like way above him, and you just super exceeded things, and you're just like, no, you know? So this person is really looking deep within, and like the emotions are coming in, the thoughts are coming in. So I'm hearing he's being plagued with these emotions and these situations that coming in. And I'm also hearing like karma is establishing itself for him. So that's what I'm saying with the King of Swords, is the karma's situating himself. So he's got to find himself. And this is basically bringing him back. And so he's just impulsive. You know what I mean? He's just saying, like, I can't give you these things that you want me to give you because I don't have them and I don't want them. Or I don't think I want them. So this is saying, if he reaches out, you just need to block. Like, you cannot reply. You can't do this. You can't stoop to this level. Because there's just things that he's trying to wear you down. Because once you get back into that situation, you're trapped, you know what I mean? And you're destitute and you're just running around, you know what I mean? It's like, are you going to follow the leader? Are you going to play Simon Says, you know, with someone who's just going to break you even more? So this is saying, be unavailable and just fly far away. You know, you need to expand your wings and you just need to fly. What was this? This wanted to pop out. Nope. There's just something super unexpected, you know what I mean, when you find yourself, you know what I mean? You find your home, you know, you find all this, and there's just things that you don't want anymore once you come to your senses, is what I'm saying. So don't be overwhelmed. But I'm also hearing someone's like coming for you. Someone's looking for you. Because I'm seeing someone go like this. Like, here's like a door and they're just like peeking out over it, you know, they're like looking, you know what I mean? Like, oh, are you coming this way? Like, so this door is closing, so this door can open up for you. So this is saying there's kind of some work that you're coming out of. And this is saying just be free and expand, explore your options, explore your mind. I'm hearing explore your desires, because there's something that's just untapped and uncharted that needs to come full circle for you. So this female that I'm seeing, who is she? She's someone that will just get you out of your environment, get you out of your head, get you out of your own, you know what I mean? She'll make you see things from her perspective, and it's like a whole different perspective. And I'm really saying, like, she brings balance and stability, but it's also she finds like a way to basically help you heal, you know, and just give you something that, you know, she'll say something or she'll do something and it just has this triggering effect in the right way, you know what I mean? Because it snowballs from there, and you just see everything. So before that dropped, I'm seeing the 9 of Pentacles, and it was upright. So there's something that you establish with her, whether it be a relationship of any kind. Yeah, so this relationship that's established. What is this? I don't feel deceptive, but I feel like a rebirth, something that was like long hidden from you, because there's just things that I kind of feel like a conflict. Like there's balance, but there's still like this healing of longing. And this is saying like this rebirth at night, it comes out. But there's something that teaches you how to hold it down on your own, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm also seeing, and one of you, instead of being like overly emotional, I don't want to say like that cliche where you hear a lot of people saying like, when you talk about, you know, same-sex relations, people are always asking which one of you is feminine, which one is more masculine, which is more dominant. There is just things that will be switched up. You know what I mean? So if you're used to being the feminine in your relationship heterosexually, this is saying this is going to teach you how to take charge. So there is like this rebirthing, this night energy. So this is like the seductive, you know what I mean? Parts of you, like the desires that are going to come out. So there's just things that get done that you would not normally do. So like what can be seen is not seen, if that makes any sense. So there's just like, it's always on your toes. So there's like no suspicion, but people are gonna be like looking at you to be like, will they, won't they? You know, what is she doing? What are they doing? Like, you know what I mean? So like I'm seeing heartbreaker energy. You know what I mean? But I also see like there is union. You know what I mean? And it's slow. You know what I mean? It takes off slowly. And then I just keep saying that cliche or whatever. Someone like, oh, you know, is she touching my knee or my elbow? Is she flirting with me? So there's like in your head to be like, how do I go about this? You know, one takes charge, one basically hangs back. So I see it's like there's something slow. And I'm also seeing some people are going to like try to break you up on purpose because they don't want to see this. They don't want to see you two together. They don't want to, so there is information that's going to be bad information. I'm seeing lies and deceit, rumors. So this is something that you will have to basically overcome. So this is like a slow process, a slow stride towards it. I mean, it's not a race, it's a marathon. So you gotta take it in segments. I'm saying, why am I seeing triathlon? So maybe you train together and you run and triathlon. I don't know. So this is saying don't be impetuous. Don't rush into things. Don't force it because this was meant to happen. This was, I don't want to say contracted, because when we say contracted, you just like, okay, we have business and then be done. You know what I mean? You get paid. I get what I want that I've asked you for. And then you go about your way. You know what I mean? Like no hards, no questions. So this is like unwriting and unraveling like a previous establishment that was like super wrong. And I know this is like super vague, but like it teaches you how to step into your masculine energy that's more outer, you know? And so this is more protective. It's not ego based, but this is teaching you how to switch from very feminine, emotional to more logical reasoning. So there's just things that will be presented to you and you will think in a logical perspective. It won't be like super emotional about it, is what I see. So you just like go with the flow. So things don't bother you. You know what I mean? What would trigger you, what doesn't trigger you anymore. And that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing very nurturing, very motherly vibes with her. I'm seeing that she's very independent. And so she's like teaching you how to be very independent yourself. But this is also saying like the way she goes about things is very unorthodox. You know, there's just something in her that just radiates this strength, you know, it's untamed. You know what I mean? It's untamable. It's unbroken. It's pure. It's self-regenerating. You know what I mean? Because it's like it cannot be put in a box. So like something can stab it, and this person would be like, okay, you stabbed me, you gotta go, and then I'm gonna go back into my corner and I'm gonna heal, I'm gonna regenerate, and you come back like stronger and all that. So there's a switch up. It's very relaxing. So there's very little things that get brought out, you know, fight wise. So if you fight, it's rare, it's uncommon, if that makes any sense. It's like a breath of fresh air. You know, it's like getting out of the house after quarantine and be like, oh my god, like what is this? Like, is this what air feels like again? You know what I mean? So you have like a new lease on life. You know, and this is something that's like, it's, you know when you try a food for the first time, and I don't know where, because I'm seeing someone eat like I'm seeing like this person introducing you to like food that you normally did not like. And I'm seeing like a big plate of mashed potatoes, and weirdly enough, I'm seeing like this person eat mac and cheese. So there's like things that they would not normally eat or they find disgusting, that they make or whatever, and like you enjoy. You know what I mean? But normally you would not eat it. And I'm seeing someone like, oh my God, like Velveeta mac and cheese, or, you know, Velveeta cheese and shells, or Kraft mac and cheese is gross. It's nasty. I'm not a dairy person, and this person like basically makes you something that's better when it comes to this. So I can kind of see like this give back, that you're like pushing people to eat this, and then after that you'd be like, you know, that was good, but it's not as filling. So then they break out like this like fondue set, and they start eating like white chocolate, you know, covered strawberries, and you got the marshmallows, and then you see like the cocoa bombs that they made together. So it's very cute. It's very home ec, like maker type energy with her. So it's like she's established in her own home, you know what I mean, in her own lane. So this is going to help you establish, you know, these roles that you play with each other, you know, for each other. And I'm really seeing that's what's going on. That's the vibes I get. So this is saying like this is untraditional. So people are kind of just like forcing this, and I'm kind of saying like she may have grown up in a very, or maybe you have grown up in a very, you know, conservative household or religious household. So like people will just be like, oh, this is sacrilege, this is blasphemy, this is sinful, you know, blah blah blah. So this is like the shaking of traditions. So one of you may be traditional and this is what you know, and you're like, oh, I don't want to bring you home because this is how my family is. Yeah. So I'm saying like a home environment that was very traditional, set in beliefs. And so this is like questioning all of that and like expansion. So this changing of beliefs, or this changing, I'm hearing changing of hands, changing of tides, change of scenery, change of perception. They basically just make you question all this, and they actually show you something that's complete, like I said, unorthodox. There's just the way she moves is so much graceful. Like every time I think of her, it reminds me of Aaliyah in Queen of the Damned, when Akasha is moving in the bar, and you know she's swaying like this, you know, like there's just like a force about her, like she can make her own air, you know, and dance to her own beat. And like the way she moves her torso and her arms is graceful, like a ballerina almost. There's just something so poised about it. You know what I mean? Like her body won't move until, you know, her mind makes that up. So this is saying like there's something that you would not see coming. And I'm also saying there's like a blockage that's meant to, and so like this person will basically say something or trigger something, and this block will be removed. So you see things, you just see something so much clearer. It's not as foggy, it's not bogged down. I'm hearing life restored. I'm saying cutting away at the surface and exposing like a deeper layer, deeper establishment, a deeper need or deeper want. And I'm saying like, I don't know if that's a doe or that's supposed to be a fox, but there's something super cunning about the way that she goes about it. It's very strategic. And it's almost like you give her an inch, she'll give you a mile. You know what I mean? There's something just so thrifty about her. You know what I mean? She just sets off on her own adventures. And I can honestly see you having like late night car rides where you go to like Burger King and you just get like ice cream or something. And you just sit in the car and you just have these talks. And, you know, there's just something that she brings out in you that just, it makes you feel like the world has like changed, you know what I mean? Like, you're not living in the same world that you were living, like, it's an alternate dimension. So there's just things that she, like, removes off of you. So I'm seeing fireworks in that. But I'm saying there's, like, a lasting legacy. So this could be actually your soulmate, your twin flame, whatever, your counterpart. So this is saying, like, there is victory on the horizon. So this is saying you gotta want it, you know what I mean? You gotta set the foundation for it. But like I said, there is going to be, like, when you establish, there's going to be people talking, and it's kind of like anxiety and all this other stuff. So this is like the teacher moment, you know, whether it's she teaches you or you teach her, you know, these things. So I'm seeing like the growing of a thick spine or a thick skin. All right. So let's get into this. Can you tell me what obstacles are currently being faced right now? So you're just like fighting the good fight. I can kind of see like there's more you want out of life. I'm also hearing lust. So I'm hearing sacral chakra is blocked because there's too much energy that's just, it's waiting to burst. So this is saying that communication between the two, because I'm hearing provoking thoughts, provoking dreams, wet dreams. But I'm hearing that there's just blockages in this imbalance, but I'm hearing hormonal. So some of you have maybe been crying, your hormones have been everywhere, your periods haven't been normal. It's yikes. So I'm hearing there's a combination of things. So right now it's just like you're wanting things, but this is saying you're not allowing what needs to come in because you're refusing to accept what has ended. And so I'm hearing desires like sucking the life out of you. You know what I mean? Because you're desiring one person, but you're not desiring the right things. And you're not putting the action towards that. So I'm hearing like there's a person blocking you. So you're just like, how do I get over this? How do I do this? And you just got to let it. So you're rejected. You know what I mean? You're hurt. And so you're just like, you want that person's attention, and yet you're like holding yourself accountable for the things this person has done. And this is saying you need to get out and you need to make something of yourself. You need to peel back the layers and really find out who you are before this person and after, like, what has this taught you? And, you know, a lot of times people will teach us hurt, you know, because the way we've reacted. But this is saying you need to find balance. You need to find peace with yourself. You know what I mean? This is saying when you listen to both parts and you right the wrongs of the past, which you can't. You can never right the wrongs of the past. You just have to brace the future and hope that you've learned from the past and not actually let the past hurt you. So this is saying you just got mad with all the shit that's in your head. You know, so it's like if you allow the thoughts to play out in your head and you allow a pessimistic mindset, things happen. So you need to reevaluate how you've moved and where you're going. And I'm also hearing someone has completed nursing school. And so you're like out there and you're like, oh, I'm ready for a job. So this is how you could actually meet this person or something. So support, expectancy, completion. And then we have the Leopard King, the Sword of Law, bravery, self-discipline, faith. So this is saying like this career is going to teach you how to be reliable and how to move the way you move in this path. And I'm also hearing healing. So maybe this person is a nurse and this is how you meet one of the two situations. But this is saying you have to be tough on yourself and you need to get your priorities and your affairs in line. Okay, so now that we've got that out of the way, commitment, acquisition, responsibility. So we all have duality sides to us. We all have the polarity, the light and the darkness. And this is saying finding balance between that and committing to the healing of both is actually great. But this is saying don't let rumors or things that come through the way that they come through. You have a responsibility to heal yourself is what I'm saying. You have a commitment to be yourself. You have to expand this commitment to yourself, to give yourself self-love. So this is saying with so we have authority, the hunt, the natural balance. So some of you is just like the chase, if that makes any sense. Like it's the thrill of the chase. And this is saying like you need to find balance on that, because it's like you can't just let the chase happen. You can't just be like, I'm, out for my prey, and this is all you're like, and I hate to say this, for one of you in this situation, some of you like the thrill of the hunt about potentially getting the prey, or like looking and like Googling what is on the market or what is out there. This is saying some of you have an addiction to it because that's all you think is like a cat and mouse. You're thinking about how you get off on this. So this is saying like when you use your authority and you step into this masculine in this relationship, or when you get into this relationship, this is saying you're not playing cat and mouse anymore, because it's like you have a responsibility to this person, to yourself, and to this relationship. So you have to find a striking balance between your masculine and your feminine. But it's at the same time, it's like finding respect for yourself and respect for this partner to not be this. And I'm hearing like if you get into this relationship and it's all about the thrill of the hunt, or the thrill of, killing your prey and like stalking your prey, or whatever, this thrill that you get of adrenaline, I'm hearing you could end up doing the same thing to this person that the last person before her ended up doing to you. So just keep that in mind. So we have the angels, healing, graciousness, acceptance. So this is saying you have energy work. The caretaker of the lost, respite, assistance, memory. So it's like, remember the past, but don't allow yourself to live the past. And this is saying ask for help. Atonement, growth, deceit. Don't be deceitful by saying you can't grow or you feel like you are growing. Don't make amends for things. And then, justice. This is balance. This is truth. This is duty. So we have these things that we look for. And this is saying when you grow and you finally come out of your shell, or you come out of this shadow part and you embrace the light, you have duty to yourself to keep expanding that, because you cannot backtrack into this. So this relationship, what the dynamic of this relationship. So there's a transition. So like I said, there's going to be parts of, switching roles is what I'm hearing. Mother of creation, motherhood, ferocity, creation. And I felt that with her, because she'll be more of the feminine, you'll be more of the, the outer, you know what I mean? And I'm also seeing the need of privacy, because I'm seeing blackout blinds when you two are together. So you just block out the world. But there's just things that birth, these things and this relationship. So I'm really feeling like there's a lot of growth, you know what I mean? So I'm really saying that you balance each other out. Completion, support. We talked about the keeper. So there's just things that you talk about that really have no, you know what I mean? But it's a mutual thing. And this is curiosity. So you guys might be up to something, exploring new things together. And I'm seeing Dungeons and Dragons, just like engrossed in this, or conspiracy theories. There's just like, you gotta surrender to it, you know what I mean? But I can kind of see that you do things that you wouldn't do for anybody the way you do for each other. And I see that with each other. And of course, people are going to try to drag you apart. They're going to try to tell you and throw you for a loop. You know, so this is saying use that intuition, use that knowledge, you know, and just give back. And I'm saying, like, you know, through rejection, this opening, so you find your completion, you find your balance, you find your divineness, you know what I mean? Can I say more? Because we have the masculine that's been rebirthed. You know what I mean? What was human is now godly. And with this is saying that there's so much faith in this, you know, faith in this relationship that you don't want to leave it alone. You know what I mean? So it's like no matter how much people try to repel the two of you, you will always come back to each other. You know what I mean? You will always repel other people. So there's just things that will be said between the two of you that would never leave. You know what I mean? And granted, there's just things that you do for each other that are blind to the whole world. You know what I mean? Like, you put a veil upon this and, like, no one can make you feel ashamed. But I'm also saying that, you know, because people trying to repel you or trying to enforce traditions or roles on you that are coming through, I feel like people are trying to try to, like, bring you apart by, you know, invoking these traditions and, you know, basically making you feel guilty. But this is saying being honest with yourself and, you know, what you want and what you don't. Like, you just know, you know what I mean? Instinctively, you just know this person is right for you. This is the person that keeps you balanced. This is the person that keeps you honest with yourself. This is the person you cannot lie to because they will not allow you to lie to yourself, yet alone to them. So this is, you're living your truth. You know what I mean? I'm seeing someone struggled with this for so long that being able to live their truth is what they want. And this person is really going to help them step up and be the person that they want. You know what I mean? To be their true self, to be their true noble self. You know, and this person's going to come to realize that you're the knight in shining armor. You know what I mean? They've always been waiting for. And then it's just like, you can't fight this. You know what I mean? Like, your trauma brings you closer to each other for you to heal. And this is saying people are always going to be looking at you. They're always going to be trying to plot your downfall. There's just something in there that just switches, you know what I mean? You just want more of it, you know? And people are always going to oppose you. There's going to be all this, and yet you have faith in each other. And like I said, you got to keep being who you are. You know, you got to keep growing. And this is saying that there's just something that will always be on the back of your mind about the people you've lost. Because I'm saying that because of this relationship, people are going to show their true colors about you. And I see that. Because of this relationship, and you kind of just feel like you're fighting the good fight and you're just exhausted. And you realize that you're fighting a fight for other people, that you're not fighting for yourself. So you have to be honest to yourself, and you have to do you, because you will never be able to not do you. You know what I mean? Because this support system you will always have. Your partner will always try to rebirth that. Will always try to see the better in you.